right, let's dive in. Today we're tackling the ICT Quality Assurance Manager interview.
Ooh, yeah. A lot of you have been asking for this one.
We've got career guides, interview prep, even some intel on RoleCatcher's AI.
We're going to help you ace this thing.
Not just pass. We're aiming for total victory here.
I love that. You know, what's really interesting about this role is that it's not just testing. It goes way beyond that.
Yeah, it's like you're creating a whole culture of quality.
Exactly. You're safeguarding a company's digital crown jewels, making sure technology truly delivers.
Okay, that sounds intense, almost like a digital guardian.
It kind of is.
Our sources describe this manager as someone who safeguards assets, data integrity, and operations. So before we jump into the interview, can you give us a sense of what those digital assets actually are?
You're right, a lot of responsibility in this role. When we talk about assets, we're talking about everything, from the sensitive data customers entrust to a company, to the software and hardware systems that keep everything running.
So it's like the backbone of a business in the digital age.
Exactly.
Okay, no pressure then.
Yeah.
Right. It's not just about finding bugs.
No.
You're protecting the whole digital kingdom.
That's a great way to put it, and that's why nailing this interview is so important.
Yeah.
Let's dive into those 10 sample questions from our interview guide.
Okay, sounds good.
But remember, it's not about memorizing answers.
Right.
It's about understanding what they're really looking for.
Okay, hit me with that first question.
All right, question 1. What are your experiences with software testing?
Okay, that seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But I bet they're looking for more than just a list of projects.
Oh, absolutely. They want to see depth. What kinds of testing have you done?
Oh, I see.
Methodologies, tools you're fluent in. You know, have you worked with white box testing, black box testing,
Okay.
even gray box testing? This is your chance to really showcase your expertise.
So it's not just, I've done testing.
Nah.
It's about painting a picture of your whole testing journey. What's the key takeaway here for our listener?
You need to prove you're not just clicking buttons.
Uh-huh.
You're a testing strategist. You understand the nuances,
Right.
the different approaches, and how to tailor your techniques to different situations.
Okay, I think this is where RoleCatcher can come in handy.
Yes. RoleCatcher's AI can be a game changer. It can analyze your experience and pick out the projects and skills that are most relevant to the specific job.
So it's like having a personalized resume editor.
Yes. One that knows exactly what this employer is looking for.
Ooh, I like that. All right, what's the next challenge?
Question 2. How do you prioritize testing efforts?
Ooh, that's trickier.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't everything be high priority?
It's tempting to think that. But the truth is, you can't test everything all at once. Some things need more attention than others.
Okay.
So this question's all about your understanding of risk assessment and your ability to make tough decisions.
Okay, walk us through this. How should someone approach this question?
Start by explaining your process. You gather requirements, analyze weak points, and then prioritize based on the impact of each risk.
Makes sense.
Like a security flaw exposing customer data.
Ah.
That's a way higher priority than a little visual glitch.
Right. Okay, so it's about finding that sweet spot between being thorough and being efficient.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really interesting. You need to bring in the business context. What are the company's goals? What are the biggest threats to those goals?
So you align your testing with what matters most to the business.
Exactly. You're showing them you're not just a tester. You're a strategic thinker.
I never thought about it like that. What's a good follow-up question our listeners should ask themselves?
Ask yourself, how would you measure the impact of those risks? Think about the metrics. You know, the severity of a bug and how it affects the business.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, bring on question number 3.
All right. Question 3. How do you ensure testing is conducted efficiently?
Efficiency. That's the magic word, right? But I bet it's more than just working quickly.
You're right. It's about more than just speed. This question is about process and optimization. They want to know you're actively looking for ways to improve. Speed, accuracy, resources. You're a lean, mean testing machine.
Okay, give us some concrete examples.
Well, think about automation. Are you using tools to automate those repetitive tasks? Have you embraced test management software
Okay.
to streamline things? How are you prioritizing test cases based on risk and impact?
There are probably some seriously cool tools out there for that.
Oh, absolutely. And here's your chance to showcase your knowledge of them. But don't just name drop. Explain how you've used them to get results. Numbers speak volumes.
Show them you can walk the walk.
Exactly.
But it's not all tech, is it? I imagine communication is a huge part of efficiency, too.
Absolutely. Poor communication kills efficiency. Highlight your ability to keep everyone on the same page.
Yeah.
Developers, stakeholders, the whole team.
So smoother workflows, faster results.
Right.
And again, I bet this is where RoleCatcher can help.
Absolutely. RoleCatcher's AI can analyze the job and show you the skills and tools that matter most to them.
Like a customized cheat sheet for the interview.
Exactly.
All right, hit me with question 4.
Question 4. How do you ensure testing is conducted accurately?
Well, you want accurate tests, right? What's the catch?
They're not just looking for a yes. They want to see if you understand what impacts accuracy. This is where you show you're a critical thinker, not just following a script.
All right, so what could lead to inaccurate testing?
It could be anything. Poorly written test cases, environmental factors. Imagine your test data isn't realistic or there are inconsistencies in the testing environment. You need to show you're aware of these pitfalls and have strategies to avoid them.
I bet attention to detail is super important here.
Oh, absolutely. This question is partly about how meticulous you are. You can score points by talking about specific techniques you use, peer reviews of test cases, rigorous data validation, even using automated tools to minimize human error.
And clear communication again.
Right.
Yeah.
To avoid misunderstandings.
That could skew the results.
Absolutely. Keeping everyone on the same page. They want to know you can not only spot problems, but solve them.
Okay, so what are some solutions we can highlight here?
Well, think about your systems. Do you have a robust bug tracking system? A comprehensive testing strategy? Are your communication channels clear and open so that any issues can be addressed quickly?
Wow, this role is so much more than just running tests.
You're getting it.
It's about strategy, thinking ahead,
Yes.
and having systems in place.
Exactly. And here's an insider tip.
Okay.
When you answer this question, try to give a specific example of a time when you nailed accuracy in a tough situation.
Oh, that's good advice. Okay, what's question number 5?
Question 5. How do you ensure that software meets user requirements?
Okay, so this one is all about understanding the end user, right?
Yes. But how do you really know what they want and need? They're not sitting there in the room with you.
Right.
This question is testing your ability to bridge that gap between technical specs and the actual human beings using the software.
So you need to think like a user, not just a tester.
Exactly. And have a system for gathering those requirements. Think about user stories, use case scenarios, even user acceptance testing. Get direct feedback from your target audience. They're your most valuable resource.
So you're testing the software itself and the process it went through, making sure the developers are on the right track.
Yes. You're ensuring quality throughout the entire development lifecycle, not just at the end.
That's fascinating. I bet you run into challenges with this all the time, making sure something truly meets user needs.
No, all the time. Sometimes requirements are vague, or they even contradict each other. It's your job to smooth that out and make sure everyone's on the same page. Plus, user needs change. What was cool yesterday might be old news tomorrow. You got to be adaptable.
Right.
Willing to change your testing strategies.
Okay, so be proactive, communicate constantly, and never forget about the user. This reminds me of something from our career guide. It talked about active listening for ICT Quality Assurance Managers.
Oh, that's so important. Active listening is about truly understanding what others are saying, asking clarifying questions, making sure you're not just hearing what you want to hear.
It builds trust and collaboration.
Absolutely.
And again, I think RoleCatcher could be really helpful here.
Definitely. RoleCatcher can analyze those user requirements, find any potential issues or inconsistencies. It can also help you tailor your answer to highlight your experience.
Oh, cool.
With those specific methodologies and tools that this job is looking for.
All right, question number 6. Let's hear it.
Question 6. How do you ensure testing is aligned with business goals?
Okay, now we're talking business. But wouldn't testing always be aligned with business goals? Everyone wants great software that helps the company succeed, right?
You'd think so. But this question is about showing you understand the bigger picture.
Okay.
Can you prioritize based on what really matters to the business?
So how do you go beyond the obvious here? How do you show that deeper understanding?
You need to connect your testing actions to the results the business wants.
Okay. For example, testing can help reduce development costs, catch bugs early, improve customer satisfaction with a smooth user experience, even help get the software to market faster.
It's about being more than a tech expert. You're a business-minded professional.
Exactly. And you need to be able to communicate that value. Talk about the metrics you've used to measure the impact of your testing. Data is your friend.
I'm curious, what are some common mistakes people make with this question?
Sometimes people get lost in the technical details and forget to connect it back to those big business goals. Or they give a generic answer that could apply to any company. You need to tailor it to this organization. Show them you've done your research.
It's research, analysis, targeted communication.
You got it.
Can you give our listener a specific example of how to nail this question?
Think back to your experience. Have you identified key performance indicators? Did you prioritize testing activities based on those KPIs? Have you ever created a report that clearly shows the value of testing to management? Use your real-world successes.
Okay, this is gold. All right, what's next? Question 7. How do you ensure that testing is scalable?
Scalable. That's a buzzword you hear all the time.
Right.
What does it actually mean in terms of software testing?
It means being able to handle growth and change without sacrificing quality or efficiency.
Okay.
Imagine your software is a hit. The user base explodes. Can your testing keep up?
Wow.
This question is about thinking long-term. Can you anticipate future needs?
Okay, so having that long-term vision,
Mhm.
building a testing strategy that can grow and evolve.
Exactly. They want to know you can handle those complex systems.
Right.
Massive data sets, a growing user base, without breaking a sweat.
So how do we make sure testing is truly scalable?
Think about automation frameworks. Can you run tons of tests quickly and efficiently without needing a huge team of manual testers?
Okay.
Cloud-based testing platforms are another good option.
Right.
They give you that flexibility and scalability to adapt as you grow. It's like having a testing environment that can expand and contract as needed.
I bet building a good team and having solid processes are crucial for handling that increased workload.
Absolutely. This is your chance to highlight your leadership skills.
Okay.
Remember, scalability is not just about technology. It's about people and processes, too.
What are some common mistakes people make when answering this question?
Some people get tunnel vision. They just focus on one aspect, like automation, and they forget about the bigger picture. Or they give a vague answer, nothing specific from their experience.
So again, back up that expertise with real-world examples.
Yes.
What would be a powerful way to illustrate this to our listener?
Think about a project where you faced big growth or change. Did you implement an automation framework? Did you use a cloud-based platform to handle a surge in users? Share those success stories.
Okay, that's a good one. This is a lot of information to keep in mind.
Yeah.
How can someone make sure they remember all this in the interview?
Well, this is where RoleCatcher can really help. He can analyze a job description, pick out the most important skills, and help you tailor your answer to what matters most to them.
Like a personal interview coach.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm ready for question number 8. Break it on.
Question 8. How do you ensure testing is compliant with regulations and standards?
Compliance. Ooh, that sounds intimidating.
It can be.
What kind of regulations and standards are we talking about here?
It varies by industry and software, but it could involve data privacy regulations like GDPR, security standards, accessibility guidelines, even specific industry requirements.
So it's about making sure the software is playing by the rules.
Right. This question is about whether you're aware of those rules and can build a testing process that guarantees compliance. You're building software responsibly.
So you're not just finding bugs, you're making sure it was built the right way from the beginning.
Exactly. And you can't just tack it on at the end. Compliance needs to be part of the whole development process.
So how do you tick all those compliance boxes throughout the entire process?
Well, first, you need to be a compliance expert. Understand the regulations inside and out. Then develop a testing strategy that addresses those requirements specifically. Create test cases that validate compliance, use specialized tools, maybe even work with external auditors to verify you're meeting those standards.
I bet this is an area where you have to constantly learn and adapt, right?
Oh, absolutely. Regulations and standards are always evolving.
Right.
Show them you're committed to staying up to date. Mention any certifications or training programs you've done.
Okay, so what are some pitfalls to avoid here?
Don't just rattle off a list of regulations. Show you understand them and how you've actually ensured compliance in your past work. Another trap is getting too technical and forgetting about the legal and ethical implications.
Right. It's about more than just checking boxes. It's that holistic understanding. What's a great way to show that?
Think about your past projects. Did you implement a data privacy framework? Conduct security audits? Work with regulatory bodies? Those experiences will impress them.
Okay, great advice. Question number 9, what's next?
Question 9. How do you ensure testing is integrated into the development process?
Okay, this one feels like it's all about collaboration. Making sure testing isn't an afterthought. something you just tack on at the end.
Exactly. This is about agile methodologies and creating a culture of quality throughout the entire development lifecycle. Break down those silos between developers and testers. You're working together as one team.
So shifting left, bringing testing in early, making it part of every stage.
Yes, they want to know you can work side by side with developers, product owners, everyone to make sure testing is a core component of every sprint.
So how do you actually achieve that level of integration? Make testing everyone's responsibility.
Think test-driven development. Have you worked in environments where tests are written before the code? That's a powerful way to build in quality from the start. Talk about your ability to work with developers, defining clear criteria, making sure everyone's on the same page about what success looks like.
Clear communication, transparency, making sure everyone values testing.
Absolutely. You're a quality advocate, championing testing at every step, fostering that culture of continuous improvement.
Okay, what are some mistakes people make when answering this question?
Sometimes they get stuck in the technical stuff and forget about the human element.
Right.
Successful integration is about people skills, relationships, and collaboration.
It's teamwork, not a solo mission.
Exactly. And again, don't be generic. Show a deep understanding of Agile and give specific examples of how you've made it work.
All right, real-world examples. How can someone illustrate this concept?
Think back to your projects. Did you introduce test-driven development? Did you bring in new tools or frameworks to help collaboration? Maybe you facilitated closer collaboration between developers and testers through pair programming or something similar. Share those stories.
I love it. Okay, we're on the last question. What's the final challenge?
Question 10. How do you ensure that testing efforts are cost-effective?
Cost effectiveness, the language of business. But isn't testing always an expense?
That's a myth. Testing does cost money, but it also brings a big return on investment. This question is about showing you understand that balance.
Okay.
How to get the most value for your testing dollar.
So it's about finding that sweet spot, testing thoroughly, but not overspending.
Exactly. And being able to communicate that value to the people holding the purse strings.
Okay, so how do you actually do that? How do you ensure cost effectiveness?
There are a few key strategies. Prioritize those test cases based on risk and impact.
Okay.
Focus on what's critical for the software to function and for those big business goals. Automation is huge here. Reduce manual testing, save time and money.
Using the right tools.
Right.
Finding solutions that are budget-friendly but still get the job done.
Absolutely. There are tons of great options. Open source tools, cloud-based platforms. Show that you're resourceful and know how to get the best value.
All right, what are the pitfalls to avoid with this question?
Don't get obsessed with cutting costs and sacrifice quality. Cost-effective doesn't mean cutting corners. And don't be generic. Show that you understand the company's budget and their specific priorities.
So balance cost and quality. Adapt your approach to each company.
Precisely.
Can you give us a real-world example of how to really hit this one out of the park?
Think about your past work. Did you bring in automation tools that save tons of time? Did you negotiate good deals with vendors? Maybe you created a whole new testing methodology that streamlined things without losing accuracy.
Okay.
Share those successes.
That's a great strategy. Okay, we've covered all 10 questions, and I actually feel a lot more confident now.
I'm glad to hear it. But we're not quite done yet. Let's shift gears and talk about how RoleCatcher can help you with the entire application process, not just the interview questions.
Ooh, this sounds exciting.
RoleCatcher has a whole set of AI-powered tools that can make you stand out.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, for starters, their CV resume builder can tailor your resume to specific jobs. It picks out the skills and experience that are most relevant.
Wow.
And their cover letter tool helps you write those compelling, personalized cover letters that grab attention.
That's amazing. I'm always struggling with resumes and cover letters.
Well, RoleCatcher's AI takes the struggle out of it. It looks at job descriptions, finds those keywords and phrases employers want to see. You'll be optimizing for maximum impact.
Okay, that's super helpful. What about the interview itself? We talked about answering questions, but can RoleCatcher help with anything else?
Absolutely. Their AI-powered interview practice tool can analyze your video responses.
Wait, it analyzes videos?
Yeah, it gives feedback on your delivery, body language.
That's incredible. It's like having a personal interview coach.
Exactly. You can practice as many times as you need to until you feel totally confident.
All right, I'm sold. RoleCatcher sounds amazing.
It really is, and they offer a free version.
Oh, wow.
But if you want to unlock the full power, their Copilot subscription is the way to go.
I'll have to check that out. This is all so helpful. Okay, let's step back from the interview for a second and talk about the bigger picture. Your career as an ICT Quality Assurance Manager, what does that look like long term?
Well, our career guide actually outlines different stages of this career, from entry level to senior management.
Okay, what are those stages?
It starts with the entry-level ICT Quality Assurance Analyst.
Yeah, okay.
You're assisting in developing quality systems, doing audits and inspections, and working with teams to solve problems.
Learning the ropes, getting experience.
Exactly. And as you move up to ICT Quality Assurance Coordinator, you're taking on more responsibility. Developing and maintaining those systems, analyzing data, even leading improvement initiatives.
Stepping into a leadership role.
Yes. And then you reach the peak, the ICT Quality Assurance Manager.
This is where it all comes together.
Precisely. You're responsible for the overall quality approach, making sure things meet standards, implementing controls to protect assets and data integrity, and driving continuous improvement across the organization.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, but it sounds really rewarding.
Oh, absolutely. And our career guide offers some great insights into how to climb those career steps. It emphasizes continuous learning, professional development, networking.
So it's not just doing your job well, it's actively investing in your own growth.
Exactly. It also talks about showing what you can do, building a strong portfolio, maybe even writing articles or giving presentations.
Become a thought leader in the field.
Yes, and pursuing certifications to show off your expertise.
Are there any certifications you would recommend?
Well, the guide mentions several. Certified Quality Auditor, CQA, Certified Quality Engineer, CQE, Certified Manager of Quality Organizational Excellence, CMQOE, Certified Software Quality Engineer, CSQE, even the Project Management Professional, PMP.
Okay, that's a lot. I'll have to look into those.
And remember, RoleCatcher's Career Compass tool can help you map out your career path. Identify those skills, certifications, experience you need to reach your goals.
Okay, this is incredibly helpful. I feel like I have a much better understanding of what it takes to succeed in this field.
Great. And we're not done yet. Our career guide has a few more nuggets of wisdom for us. It has some great advice on getting started, even if you don't have tons of experience yet.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Well, it suggests getting hands-on experience through internships, entry-level jobs, even volunteer work.
Okay.
Participate in quality improvement projects, seek out opportunities to work on ICT stuff, really immerse yourself in the field to gain practical knowledge.
So take initiative, find ways to get your foot in the door.
Exactly. The guide also stresses building a strong foundation in those quality systems, understanding standards.
Right.
It suggests attending workshops, seminars, training programs, really building that knowledge base.
Combine that practical experience with a solid theoretical foundation.
Exactly. And of course, networking. Connect with other professionals, go to industry events, join those organizations.
Build those relationships, stay up to date.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher can help with all of that. Their platform has a wealth of info on career paths, skills, trends, networking opportunities.
Okay, this is fantastic. I feel like I have a roadmap now.
I'm so glad to hear that. We're almost done with our deep dive into the world of ICT Quality Assurance Managers.
Okay, I'm ready for the final wrap-up.
Well, we've covered a lot today. From understanding the role to mastering those interview questions, even looking at the long-term possibilities. But there's one key takeaway I want to emphasize.
Okay, I'm all ears.
This role is so much more than just finding bugs. It's about being a guardian of quality, a champion for excellence, a strategic thinker who gets the crucial role ICT plays in any organization.
That's a powerful message. I'm actually feeling really excited about this career path now.
That's great to hear. Remember, with the right prep, the right mindset, and the right tools like RoleCatcher, you can ace that interview and launch a rewarding career.
This has been an amazing deep dive.
It has been, hasn't it?
I've learned so much. I can't wait to put all this knowledge to use.
They're here to support you every step of the way.
Okay, folks. That's it for part 2 of our deep dive into the world of ICT Quality Assurance Managers. Be sure to join us for part 3, where we'll continue exploring this exciting career. Until then, happy learning.
All right, moving on to question number 5.
Okay.
Question 5, how do you ensure that software meets user requirements?
Okay, User requirements.
Yeah.
This feels like stepping into the user's shoes, right?
Exactly. How do you really know what they want and need? It's not like they're in the room with you.
Yeah, that's true.
So this question's about bridging the gap
Uh-huh.
between those technical specs and the actual people using the software. You have to think like a user, not just a tester.
Yeah. Empathy is key.
Exactly. And you need a system to gather those requirements and turn them into testable criteria.
Right.
Think about things like user stories, use case scenarios, even user acceptance testing. Get that direct feedback from your audience.
Okay.
They're your most valuable resource.
It's like you're not just testing the software, but also the development process itself.
Yes.
Making sure those developers were on the right track from day one.
You're ensuring quality throughout the entire life cycle.
Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that's a challenge sometimes. Making sure software actually meets those user needs.
Oh, yeah. All the time. Sometimes user requirements are vague, or they even contradict each other.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's your job to figure that out.
Right.
And make sure everyone's on the same page. Plus, user needs change. What was cool yesterday might be old news tomorrow, so you gotta be adaptable and change your testing strategies as you go.
So proactive, communicative, and always keeping that user in mind. This reminds me of something from our career guide. It talked about active listening for these managers.
Oh, that's so important. Active listening is about really understanding, asking those clarifying questions, making sure you're not just hearing what you want to hear.
Yeah.
It builds trust,
Yeah.
and collaboration.
I bet RoleCatcher could help with this too, right?
Oh, for sure. RoleCatcher's AI can analyze user requirements and pinpoint potential gaps or inconsistencies. It can even help you tailor your answer to highlight your experience with the specific methodologies they care about.
So it's like having a personal research assistant. Okay, let's move on to question number 6.
All right. Question 6. How do you ensure testing is aligned with business goals?
Okay, now we're getting into the business side of things.
Right.
But wouldn't testing always be aligned with those goals?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone wants to release amazing software that helps the company succeed, right?
Right, you'd think so.
Yeah.
But this question is about going deeper.
Okay.
Do you understand the bigger picture? Can you prioritize your testing efforts based on what truly matters to the business?
Okay, so how do you show that you get it? How do you go beyond just the obvious?
You have to connect the dots, your testing actions and the outcomes the business is looking for.
Okay.
For instance, testing can reduce development costs by catching those bugs early, right?
Mhm.
It can improve customer satisfaction by ensuring a seamless user experience. And it can even speed up that time to market by streamlining the release process.
Okay, so you're not just a tech expert. You understand the business impact. You're thinking about the bottom line.
Exactly. And you need to communicate that value to those stakeholders. Maybe even bring in some specific metrics you've used to measure the impact of testing.
Data tells the story. Okay, what are some common mistakes people make when answering this question?
Well, sometimes they get lost in the technical details and forget to tie it back to those big goals.
Okay.
Or they give a generic answer that could apply to any company. You got to tailor your response. Do your research on this particular organization and what they prioritize.
It's all about that research, analysis, and then targeted communication.
You got it.
Okay, can you give us an example of how to really nail this question?
Think back to your experience. Have you worked with key performance indicators, KPIs? Did you prioritize testing activities based on their potential impact on those KPIs? Did you develop reporting systems that clearly showed the value of your testing efforts? Pull from your real-world wins.
That's gold. All right, what's next?
Question 7. How do you ensure that testing is scalable?
Okay, scalable. There's that buzzword again.
Right.
What does it really mean in the world of software testing?
It means your testing can handle growth and change without sacrificing quality or efficiency.
Good.
Imagine your software takes off.
Yeah.
The user base explodes. Can your testing process keep up? This question is about thinking ahead, anticipating those future needs.
So having that long-term vision, building a testing strategy that can adapt and grow as needed.
Exactly. They want to know you can handle increasingly complex systems, massive amounts of data, a growing user base, all without missing a beat.
All right, so how do you make sure testing can scale effectively?
Think about automation frameworks. Can you run lots of tests quickly and efficiently without needing a huge team doing everything manually? Cloud-based testing platforms are another good option. They give you the flexibility to adapt as your needs change.
Okay, and I imagine building a strong team, establishing really solid processes, that's got to be important for handling that growth too.
Oh, absolutely. This is a chance to showcase your leadership skills.
Okay.
Scalability is not just about technology, it's about people and processes too.
Right, it's the whole package.
Yeah.
What are some common mistakes people make when answering this question?
Sometimes people get too focused on one thing,
Okay.
like automation,
Yeah.
and they forget about the bigger picture, like team structure, testing methodologies. Another pitfall is giving a vague answer, not showing a deep understanding or using specific examples.
Right. Back up that expertise with real-world examples.
Yes.
What's a good way to illustrate this for our listeners?
Think about a project where you faced significant growth or change.
Okay.
Did you implement an automation framework that really streamlined your testing process? Did you use a cloud-based platform to handle that surge in users? Share those success stories.
Okay, great advice. I am feeling a little overwhelmed with all this info.
Yeah.
How can our listeners make sure they remember everything during the actual interview?
Well, this is where RoleCatcher comes in again. Its AI can dissect that job description,
Yeah.
pinpoint the most relevant skills, help you tailor your answer to what they're looking for.
Like having a personal interview coach right there in your pocket.
Exactly.
Okay, ready for question 8. What we got?
All right, question 8. How do you ensure that testing is compliant with regulations and standards?
Ooh, compliance. That sounds a little scary.
It can be, yeah.
What kind of regulations and standards are we talking about here?
Yeah.
I'm picturing mountains of paperwork.
It really depends on the industry and the type of software you're developing, but it could be data privacy regulations like GDPR,
Okay, yeah.
security standards, accessibility guidelines, even industry-specific stuff.
So making sure the software is playing by the rules.
Exactly. They want to know if you are aware of those rules and that you can build a testing process that guarantees compliance. You're not just building software, you're building it responsibly.
You're making sure it was built the right way from day one.
Right. You can't just tack it on as an afterthought.
Right.
It has to be woven into the entire development process.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you tick all those compliance boxes?
Well, first, you got to be a compliance expert,
Yeah.
know those regulations inside and out.
Yeah.
Then you develop a testing strategy that specifically addresses those requirements. Create test cases that validate compliance,
Okay.
use specialized testing tools, and maybe even work with external auditors. Just make sure you're really meeting those standards.
I bet this is an area where you constantly have to be learning, right?
Yeah.
Those regulations and standards are always changing.
Absolutely. Continuous learning is key here. Show them you're dedicated to staying updated. Mention certifications you have or any training you've completed. Really showcase your expertise.
Okay, what are some pitfalls to avoid? What do people mess up when answering this question?
Well, one mistake is just listing a bunch of regulations without actually showing you understand them or how you've ensured compliance in the past. Remember, actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, for sure.
Another trap is getting too focused on the technical side, forgetting about those legal and ethical implications.
It's about more than just checking those technical boxes. So how do you show that deeper understanding?
Think about your past projects. Have you implemented a data privacy framework? Conducted security audits, worked with any regulatory bodies to get approvals? Those are the kinds of things that will make an impression.
Okay, great advice. On to question 9.
Question 9. How do you ensure that testing efforts are integrated into the development process?
Okay, this sounds like it's all about collaboration. Making sure testing is not just an afterthought.
Yes, it's about breaking down those silos between developers and testers, working together as one team.
Yeah, so shifting left, bringing testing in early, and making it part of every stage of development.
Exactly. They want to know you can work side by side with the developers, the product owners. Make sure testing is a core part of every sprint.
So how do you achieve that level of integration? How do you make testing everyone's responsibility?
Well, think about test-driven development. Have you worked in environments where you write the tests before you write the code?
I see, yeah.
That's a powerful way to make sure quality is built in from the start.
Okay.
Talk about how you work with developers to set clear acceptance criteria. Make sure everybody knows what done actually looks like.
It's communication, transparency, getting everyone on board with the value of testing.
Absolutely. You're a quality advocate, championing testing every step of the way, creating a culture of continuous improvement.
Love it. What are some common mistakes people make when answering this question?
Well, one mistake is getting too caught up in the technical details, forgetting about the human element. Successful integration is also about people skills, relationships. You have to be a good collaborator.
Yeah, it's a team effort.
Exactly. And don't give a generic answer. Show you understand those agile methodologies.
Yeah.
Use specific examples from your experience to really back it up.
So how can someone illustrate this with real-world examples?
Think back to your past projects. Did you introduce test-driven development to a team?
Hmm.
Did you implement new tools or frameworks that encouraged collaboration? Maybe you even facilitated closer collaboration, like through pair programming.
Right.
Share those experiences.
I love that. Okay, on to the last question.
Question 10. How do you ensure that testing efforts are cost-effective?
Okay, cost effectiveness. Now we're talking business. Isn't testing always an expense, though? How do you make it cost effective?
That's a common misconception. Testing does have costs, but it also has a return on investment.
Yeah, okay.
This question is about showing that you understand the balance.
Okay.
How to get the most value for your testing dollar.
So it's about finding that sweet spot, right? Testing thoroughly, but also being mindful of the budget.
Exactly. And being able to communicate that value to the stakeholders.
Okay, how do you actually do that? How do you make sure testing is cost effective?
Well, prioritize those test cases based on risk and impact.
Oh.
Focus on what's truly critical. And look into automation. It can be a real game changer in terms of reducing those manual testing hours.
Yeah, right. And using the right tools, finding solutions that are budget-friendly but still effective.
Exactly. There are tons of options out there. Open source tools,
Right.
cloud-based platforms.
Okay.
Show them you're resourceful, that you know how to get the best bang for your buck.
Okay, what are some common pitfalls to avoid here? What are the red flags for interviewers?
One mistake is focusing too much on cutting costs and forgetting about the impact on quality. Cost-effective doesn't mean cutting corners.
Right, it's got to be a balance.
And don't give a generic answer.
Yeah.
Show them you've actually thought about the company's budget, their specific priorities.
So balance cost and quality. Adapt your approach to each organization. Can you give us a real-world example, something to illustrate this concept for our listeners?
Think about your experience. Have you brought in automation that saved hours of manual testing? Did you negotiate good prices with vendors? Maybe you created a new testing methodology that streamlined the process without sacrificing accuracy.
Okay.
Share those wins.
That's great. Finding that balance between cost and quality, that's a key skill for this role.
Absolutely. And this is where a RoleCatcher can be a huge help.
Yeah.
Their AI can analyze the job description, pick out the most relevant cost-saving strategies, help you tailor your answer to what matters most to them.
Like a customized cheat sheet.
Exactly.
Okay, we've covered all 10 questions. I feel so much more prepared to tackle those tricky interview questions.
That's great to hear. But we're not done yet. Let's talk about how RoleCatcher can be your secret weapon for the whole application process, not just answering questions.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Tell me more.
Well, RoleCatcher has a suite of AI-powered tools to help you stand out. They have a CV resume builder that can tailor your resume to specific jobs, highlighting those skills they're looking for.
Oh, wow.
And a cover letter tool to help you craft those compelling, personalized cover letters to really grab their attention.
I'm always struggling with resumes and cover letters.
Well, RoleCatcher takes the struggle out of it.
Yeah.
Their AI analyzes those job descriptions, finds those keywords they're looking for. You'll be optimized for maximum impact.
Okay, that's amazing. What about the interview itself? Besides answering questions, is there anything else RoleCatcher can do?
Definitely. They have an AI-powered interview practice tool that analyzes your video responses.
Wait, it analyzes videos?
Yes! It gives you feedback on your delivery, your body language.
Wow, it's like having an interview coach in your home.
Exactly. And you can practice as much as you need to.
Okay, I'm sold. RoleCatcher sounds amazing.
It really is. They even have a free version.
Wow, that's great.
But if you really want to unlock the full power, the Copilot subscription is the way to go.
I'll have to check it out. This is all so helpful. Okay, let's step back from the interview prep for a minute and talk about the bigger picture. What does a successful career in ICT quality assurance actually look like?
Our career guide outlines different stages of the career, from entry level all the way up to senior management.
Okay, what are those stages?
Well, it all starts with the entry-level ICT Quality Assurance Analyst.
Okay.
At this stage, you're assisting in developing those quality systems, conducting audits and inspections, working with teams to resolve quality issues.
So it's about getting your feet wet, gaining that hands-on experience.
Exactly. Then, as you progress, you move up to the ICT Quality Assurance Coordinator role. More responsibility. You're developing and maintaining quality management systems, analyzing data, leading improvement initiatives.
So starting to step into a leadership role.
Yes. And finally, the peak of the career path. the ICT Quality Assurance Manager.
This is where it all comes together.
Exactly. As manager, you're responsible for establishing and operating the overall quality approach, ensuring compliance with standards, implementing controls to safeguard assets and data integrity, and driving continuous improvement across the organization.
Wow, that's a lot of responsibility.
It is, but it's also incredibly rewarding.
I can imagine. So how do you get from that entry level to the top?
Well, the career guide offers some great insights into how to advance through those stages. It emphasizes continuous learning, professional development,
Okay.
networking, building those relationships.
So it's not just about doing your job well. It's about actively investing in your own growth.
Precisely. It also highlights the importance of showcasing your abilities, building a strong portfolio, maybe even contributing to the field through publications or presentations.
So become a thought leader, an expert in your field.
Exactly. And pursuing those certifications to demonstrate your expertise.
Okay, are there specific certifications that you recommend?
Well, the guide mentions several. The Certified Quality Auditor, or CQA.
Okay.
The Certified Quality Engineer, that's CQE. Certified Manager of Quality Organizational Excellence, CMQOE.
Wow, there's a lot.
The Certified Software Quality Engineer, or CSQE. Even the Project Management Professional, PMP, could be beneficial.
Okay, so many options. We'll have to explore those. So it sounds like it's not just about doing your job well. It's about going above and beyond, always seeking new knowledge and opportunities.
Absolutely. And remember, RoleCatcher can be a valuable resource for all of this. Their platform has a wealth of information on career paths, skill development, industry trends, and those all-important networking opportunities.
This is incredible. I feel like I have a much clearer understanding of what it takes to build a successful career in this field.
I'm so glad to hear that. And guess what? We're not quite done yet. Our career guide has a few more nuggets of wisdom to share, especially for those just starting out.
Oh, okay, great. What else does it say?
Well, for those who don't have tons of experience, it suggests gaining hands-on experience through internships, entry-level positions.
Makes sense.
Even volunteer work. Look for opportunities to participate in quality improvement projects within organizations. Seek out ICT projects to work on. Really immerse yourself in the field and get that practical knowledge.
So it's about being proactive, finding ways to get your foot in the door.
Exactly. The guide also stresses the importance of building a strong foundation in those quality management systems, understanding internal and external standards. It recommends attending workshops, seminars, and training programs to really deepen your knowledge base.
So combining that practical experience with a solid theoretical foundation.
Precisely. And of course, networking. Connect with others in the field.
Right.
Attend industry events. Join professional organizations.
It's about learning from others, staying up to date on the latest trends, building those relationships.
Exactly. And don't forget, RoleCatcher can help with all of that too. Their platform has a wealth of information on career paths, skill development, industry trends, and networking.
Okay, this is fantastic. I feel like I have a roadmap now.
That's what we like to hear. We're almost finished with our deep dive into the world of ICT Quality Assurance Managers.
Okay, I'm ready for that final wrap-up.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, we have.
We talked about the core responsibilities, mastering those tough interview questions, and even explored the long-term career possibilities. But there's one last takeaway I want to leave you with.
Okay, I'm all ears.
This role is so much more than just finding bugs and writing test cases. You're a guardian of quality, a champion for excellence, a strategic thinker who understands the crucial role ICT plays in making an organization successful.
That's a powerful message. I'm
Yeah.
feeling really inspired by this career path now.
I'm so glad to hear that. And remember, with the right preparation, the right mindset, and tools like RoleCatcher, you can absolutely ace that interview and embark on a truly rewarding career as an ICT Quality Assurance Manager.
This has been an incredible deep dive. I feel like I've gained such a comprehensive understanding of what it takes to thrive in this role.
It's been a pleasure diving in with you.
From those technical skills to navigating those ethical challenges, it's a role that combines expertise and integrity.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
To our listeners,
Yeah.
considering this career path, go for it.
Yeah,
Embrace those challenges.
absolutely.
Stay curious. Never stop learning. With the right preparation, the right attitude, and tools like RoleCatcher,
Yes.
you can achieve anything you set your mind to.
We're excited to see what you accomplish.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of ICT Quality Assurance Managers. We hope you enjoyed the journey and feel inspired to take the next step in your career. Until next time, Happy learning. Welcome back. We're wrapping up our deep dive on the ICT Quality Assurance Manager role, and I'm really excited about what we've learned.
It's been quite a journey, from defining the role itself to those interview questions and even looking ahead at this career path.
We've talked a lot about the technical skills.
Yeah.
But I want to touch on something we haven't really discussed
Yeah.
yet, the ethical side of things. Our career guide mentioned ethical decision-making, and I think it's worth exploring.
Absolutely. It comes up a lot in interviews, and for good reason.
Yeah.
ICT Quality Assurance Managers, they're responsible for so much. Protecting sensitive data, ensuring the integrity of systems. You're making decisions that impact a lot of people.
So it's not just about following the rules, it's about doing the right thing, even when it's tough.
Exactly. Think about it. What happens when you uncover a security vulnerability that could be exploited, but there's pressure to release the software on time?
Oh, wow.
Or you discover a colleague is cutting corners to meet a deadline. These are real ethical dilemmas that come up.
That's a lot to handle. You need a strong moral compass to navigate those situations.
You absolutely do. And interviewers want to know you can handle those tough calls.
Right.
They might give you hypothetical scenarios or ask about times you've faced ethical dilemmas in your own work.
So how do you approach those questions? What's the best way to answer?
Be ready to share specific examples. Walk them through your thought process, how you weighed the different factors, how you arrived at your decision. It's not just about what you decided, it's about how you got there.
So it's about showing your integrity
Right.
and your ability to make those tough decisions in an ethical way.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to talk about times you had to stand up for what you believed in, even when it was hard. Those stories really resonate.
Yeah, that makes sense. It shows you're willing to fight for quality and do what's right, even when it's not easy.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up, I want to touch on RoleCatcher again. We talked about how it can help you create great resumes and cover letters.
Yeah.
But did you know it can help you prepare for those tough ethical questions, too?
Oh, really? How does that work?
RoleCatcher's AI can analyze ethical scenarios and give you insights you might not have considered.
Wow.
It can help you think through the potential consequences of your actions, identify the most ethical path forward.
It's like having an ethics advisor right there in your pocket.
Exactly. And it can help tailor your answers to align with the specific values and ethical standards of the company you're interviewing with.
Okay, I'm blown away by RoleCatcher. This tool sounds amazing for anyone who wants to land this job.
It really is. Just one example of how technology can help you succeed.
Well, we've covered a lot today, from understanding the role to those interview questions and even the bigger picture of this career. It's been an incredible journey.
It really has.
I feel like I have a really solid grasp of what it takes to be an ICT Quality Assurance Manager.
That's fantastic to hear.
From mastering those technical skills to understanding those ethical considerations. It's a role that combines expertise and integrity.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This is a career where you can really make a difference, protecting those valuable assets, ensuring system integrity, really helping to build a better digital world.
Well said.
So to all our listeners out there considering this career, go for it. Embrace the challenges, stay curious, and never stop learning.
And remember, with the right preparation, the right mindset, and tools like RoleCatcher, you can achieve anything.
We're excited to see what you accomplish. And that's a wrap for our deep dive on ICT Quality Assurance Managers. We hope you've learned a lot and feel inspired. Until next time, happy learning.